Vidywell Pulp Hounds. How are we doing today? Welcome back to another Redbeard annual Halloween quiz. It seems to be annual. I've only ever done one other, and that was last year. But I wanted to do another this year, and I'd planned on doing another. There's a couple of changes this year. I haven't got a soundtracks round because I got copyright claimed for my last one and got done off of YouTube. Because obviously, including 8 seconds of Bernard Herrmann's original score for Hammer's version of Dracula is somehow me leeching off his success and utilising it for my channel, obviously. But we've got a better round. I've come up, if I can't have soundtracks, then we've got something different that you probably won't expect this year. And lessons learned this year, don't buy £1 pencil eyeliner from Poundland because it's really difficult to use. Now I know why all my chums that wear eyeliner buy decent quality liquid eyeliner, which I shall buy for next Halloween. Also, I think having old man baggy eyes doesn't help with a pencil eyeliner. So do excuse my wonky eyelashes. I look like a youthful Vince Fernier back when Alice Cooper was still a band. Anyway, let's crack on. So, same as last year, go get yourself a splendid beverage, be that hot, cold or alcoholic. If you really want to play along, which is probably a good idea, get yourself a pen and paper or something to write with, and pause me shortly and I shall be back in a moment with round one. Are we all sorted and settled, my droogs? Yeah, I'll not keep trying to do Clockwork Orange type language. Don't worry. I'll just stick to Yorkshire. It's easier. Okay, round one. So there's 50 questions in all. I shall be ranking you guys at the end, and we'll see what your score is. And no fibbing and no cheating, because I will know, and I'll come and pay you a visit. So, round one. Who is this? Who is coming? So, like last year, I'm going to show you 10 famous, infamous, unusual faces, and all you have to do is identify the horror film legend. Okay, number one. Who is this? Number two. Who is this splendid and dashing gentleman? Number three. Why, hello, madam. Who is this? Number four. Who is this comely beauty? Number five. Who's this guy? Number six. Who is this distinguished gentleman? Number seven. Well, who's this? Number eight. Who's this? Oh, it's the guy from, oh, I know his face, but what's his name? Number nine. Who is this? And number 10, who is this gentleman? Quandaries and vexations all round, I warrant. Section 2. Movie posters. What's a horror film without a wonderfully ghoulish movie poster? So I'm going to show you a small section of a movie poster, and I want you to tell me which film it's from. So question 11. What film is this from? Question 12. How about this one? Question 13. What movie is this classic poster from? Question 14. One of my all-time favourite films. What's this one from? Question 15. How about this? Question 16. What about this one? Question 17. Here we go. Question 18. Tricky. Question 19. What about this one? And question 20. What about this? So, this is a horror book channel after all, with vinyl as well, obviously. So, it's about time we had a horror book question round. I'm going to tell you the title of a film, and I want you to tell me the author's name, the person who wrote the original piece of fiction that was then made into the film. So this doesn't contain film adaptations. It's films made from a piece of fiction. So, who wrote the original novel Invasion of the Body Snatchers? Question 22. Who wrote the original piece of fiction that Candyman... No, I won't. That what I just said is based on. I don't want Tony Todd turning up with a mouthful of bees. Who wrote the original piece of fiction that Bubba Hotep is based on? Question 24. Who wrote the original book that the Amityville Horror is based on? Question 25. Who wrote the piece of fiction that Don't Look Now is based on? Question 26. Who wrote the piece of fiction that Dreamcatcher is based on? Question 27. Who wrote the original piece of fiction that I Know What You Did Last Summer is based on? Tricky. Question 28. Who wrote the original novel that The Thing from Another World and ultimately The Thing is based on? Question 29. Who wrote the novel that The Ritual is based on? And question 30. Who wrote the book that World War Z, or Z if you're one of our transatlantic chums, is based on? So how do you think you're doing so far? Do you think you're going to be a horror aficionado? I'm actually trying to think of another, or something that's not a horror aficionado, but I can't think of anything. Horror clang. The clanging chimes of doom. Right. Let's just move swiftly on to the next section. Lobby cards. I love lobby cards. I've got a very small collection of lobby cards, but it's growing. It's growing largely at the moment, and it's payday soon for me, and I've already got my eye on a few. So I'm going to show you a lobby card, and I'm going to block out the title of the film and any other clues to the title of the film. And I'd like you to tell me which film it's from. So you see a nice full still from the film, but you don't see the title. Question 31. Who's having a lousy afternoon here? Question 32. This looks really peaceful and calm. It's not going to end that way. What film's this from? Question 33. No, you've gone on fire. Next time, try not to go on fire. Question 34 should be an easy one for every horror fan. Question 35. One of my all-time favourite slashers from the 80s? Or was it late 70s? I can't remember now. Question 36. What film did these guys appear in? Question 37. Somebody's not having a jolly Christmas, are they? What film is this from? Question 38. What film is this from? Question 39. Oh, that's a tricky one. We know who it is. We know what character it is. But what film is it? And question 40. One of my all-time favourites. If there's a perfect film, this is one of them. So we're on to the final section. And this is a bit of a different one for this year. I've selected my top 10 favourite exploding heads in movies. What's a horror film without an exploding head? It's gotta be done. I will show you a very short clip of a quacking bonce pop, and I want you to tell me which film it's from. Now, some of these are quite short because it's just a dead quick bam, which is the noise an exploding head makes. If you're in the medical profession, you'd know that. So, pay close attention. They're not going to be repeated, and some of them are quite quick, but I'll give you a couple of seconds to write down your answer after each one. Question 41. Oh, that was a good one. That was an easy one to start you off, wasn't it? That was an easy one to start you off. They're going to get more and more tricky as we go. Question 42. Oof, that's going to sting. What film was that splashy Bonds explosion from? Question 43. Here we go. Hey! What film is that from? Question 44. Another one of my favourites, and largely for this moment. Oi! There we go. That's going to take some cleaning off the upholstery. Question 45. One of my all-time favourite horror movies in the world ever. Here we go. Yeah, there she blows. What film was that from? Question 46. Bit more of a tricky one. What's that one from? Question 47. Probably the most perfect exploding head ever committed to film. Ooh, that's going to get worse before it gets better. Question 48. A gorgeous example of head splittage. What film is that from? Question 49 from an 80s classic. Here we go. We got split head and fire. That's a double whammy. I'm not even charging you any extra for that one. And I think my all-time favourite exploding head on screen is this one. I'm getting so excited, I'm hitting my mic stand and everything. It never, ever, ever fails to make me laugh. Love that. But what film is it from? Right then. I think it's time to put you out of your collective miseries. Those brain itches hopefully are digging their way in, going, I know that answer, I know that one, and then we'll work out how you did. So, question 1 was Roger Corman. Anybody that could make Death Race 2000 is okay in my book. Question 2 was the ineffable Dwight Fry. Question 3 was Lily Munster herself, Yvonne Di Carlo. Question 4, it's the Mistress of the Dark, Cassandra Peterson. Number 5 is the immensely talented James Whale. Not that one, that one. Number 6 is the lovely Stuart Gordon. Number 7 is Adrienne Barbeau. Number 8, the one that you're probably going, I know that face, he was in, it's Dick Miller. Number 9 is the wonderful and charming Peter Lorre. And number 10, one of my favourite actors ever, Michael Rooker. Section 2, movie posters. So, question 11 was Friday the 13th, part 8. Number 12 was Reanimator. Number 13 was The Evil Dead. Number 14 is the amazing Bad Taste. That seems to be something I'm an expert in, actually. Not the film, just bad taste generally. Number 15 is Scream. Number 16, Halloween Kills. Number 17, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Number 18, an absolute favourite of mine, Scream and Scream Again. Number 19, Pan's Labyrinth. And number 20, just to throw you off the scent, just to vex you, is Scream 2. So, here we go then, the trickiest ones, I think. Who wrote it? So, question 21. Invasion of the Body Snatchers was originally written by Jack Finney. Question 22. Candyman is based on, is it a novella or a short story? I can't quite remember. By Clive Barker. The original short story Bubba Hotep was written by Joe Lansdale. Question 24. The original novel of the Amityville Horror was written by Jay Anson. Number 25. The original short story Don't Look Now was written by Daphne du Maurier. 26. Dreamcatcher was written by Stephen King. 27. This is a tricky one, isn't it? Did any of you get this? I hope some of you did. The original novel of I Know What You Did Last Summer was written by Lois Duncan. I think back in the 70s, and the film was loosely based on it, but there is basage on it. Question 28. So, the novel, it's actually Who Goes There, which was adapted into The Thing from Another World, which was remade as The Thing, was by John Campbell. The original novel of The Ritual was written by the amazing Adam Neville. And question 30, World War Z was written by Max Brooks. Lobby cards. Starting with question 31. That was from Vault of Horror. Question 32 was The Exorcist. Question 33 was Scanners. Of course, question 34 was Night of the Living Dead. Question 35 was My Bloody Valentine. Question 36 was from the remake of The Haunting. You don't have to put the remake. You can, if you just put The Haunting, you can still have a point. Question 37, it's Joan Collins having a lousy Christmas in Tales from the Crypt. Question 38, one of the most charming British horror movies ever made, I think. Horror Express. Question 39, that was a tricky one, wasn't it? Because we know it was Christopher Lee and we know it was Dracula, but which Dracula? Well, it's the Satanic Rites of Dracula. And question 40. Question 40 is... Now, there's a couple of answers I'll accept here. Zombie Flesh Eaters, Zombie, or Zombie 2 are all acceptable answers. And lastly, the Exploding Heads round. If YouTube are going to stop me from putting music in my annual quiz, then I'm going to have some gore, at least. So 41. Obviously, Scanners. Probably one of the most famous exploding heads ever committed to film. 42, did you get that one? Dawn of the Dead. 43 was Jeff Combs in The Frighteners. 44 was the wonderful Tom Savini getting his head quacked in Maniac. Question 45, Fulci's masterpiece, The Beyond. 46 was from Daybreakers. The beautiful artistry in 47 was from Planet Terror. 48, great movie, is from The Prowler. 49 is from Night of the Creeps, an 80s classic. The good news, girls, is your dates are here. The bad news is they're dead. Love that film. And number 50, The Final Quacking Head, is from Deadly Friend. And it still makes me laugh. It never fails to make me laugh. So, pause me, top up your scores, and we'll see what your rating is. So how did you do? There's no prizes, it's just for fun. And some of the questions were really difficult. Hopefully some were easy enough that you all got something. So, if you scored 1 to 10, you're kind of like the jock at the pool party where the killer turns up near the start of the movie, but you're too overconfident in your own abilities. And as everybody's fleeing from whichever supernatural or natural murderer is about, you're the one that's like, hey, asshole! And you walk up to him to try and stop him, and all he ever does is just like twist your neck or pull your head off or better not smudge me eye makeup and all that. You're a trier, but you're a little bit too overconfident in your own abilities. If you scored 11 to 20, then you're like a camp counsellor at Camp Crystal Lake. You get at least 15 to 20 minutes into the film. That's great. But like, and you also get maybe like a awkward fumble and you get to smoke half a spliff before you're dispatched horribly. So you do get a bit of fun, but ultimately it's your teenage curiosity and promiscuity that ends your film career quite early on. If you got 21 to 30, then you're one of those characters in a film that people get fond of, and they're fairly sure you're going to make it to the end of the film, but no, you get killed halfway through just to elicit an emotional response from the audience, and it's a bit of a waste of a character, and you're a little bit disappointed in your future career. If you got 31 to 40, well done. You're like Nancy's mum in the first Nightmare on Elm Street film. You get through the film, you survive, even though you're just in a drunken haze all the way through, which is probably the best way to survive a horror film. But you used right at the end as a plot device to be like, oh yeah, that's the end, everything's sorted, we're all good. Or is it one last death? That's you. You don't quite make it to the credits, but you did really well. And if you got 41 to 50, you're basically Bruce Campbell. You're awesome, you're groovy. You can have your pick of the girls, the guys, the Deadites, the aliens, whatever you want. You've got amazing attachments. Any damage to your face usually presents itself in the form of a really cool scar on your chin or on your eyebrow. You're just a horror movie legend. So that's it, boils and ghouls. Thank you for joining me for my annual horror quiz. I know it's only the second one, but I'm going to do it every year. I like them. And stick your score in the comments. And no cheating. No cheating. I can see you cheating. Yeah? Let's be honest about this. I wouldn't have got all these if I didn't know all the answers written down in my little book. So, happy Halloween, everybody. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.